discuss and cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country.
One other or the other. We need a show. You understand?
Yes.
To show us no attacking, no assault, remain calm.
We're not going to assault. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful. This has to be peaceful.
GCR update as of Sunday, May 16th, 2021 at rumormillnews.com. Okay, so I am not going to read repetitive material that she's been posting this week, so I'll try to just focus on new stuff. And also, I do not go over any of the tiers or exchanges or any of that material, because I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to, go over something I don't know anything about. So I do tend to skip over that. All right. She says the event, all governments in the world were being removed by the military. Everything's connected. China Dam, Tiananmen Square, and Wuhan Big Pharma Labs lead into 34 satanic buildings getting hit with rods of God and flooded. Now, the rods of God are these titanium rods in space that they just drop them basically, and they it's like has the effects of a nuclear bomb, but it doesn't have any radiation. So they're pretty effective, and they don't have anything that really propels them, but gravity pulls them down. This would surely make the stock market collapse. EBS comes after the major events. The event triggers events that trigger the EBS. So we're not going to see the emergency broadcast system until you start to hear about these rods of God and flooding of the Three Gorges Dam and so forth. Okay, learn more about the global financial reset, the quantum financial system, and Nisara Jasara at Q and Trump, the Great Awakening World. She has a link there. Also, I just posted a video from Juan O'Savin. He did get into a bit of the Nisara Jasara information, and it was pretty eye-opening, help you understand a little bit. And I'm probably going to post another video about the cryptocurrencies, because I never really understood what that stuff was about, but now I do. And the financial reset that the globalists were trying to push, the Great Reset, had to do with cryptocurrencies, and it's just another means of them to be able to control everybody and put them into a one world government. Because if you're under a cryptocurrency, let's say you have money in crypto and that's, now that's all you have. Well, if the government doesn't like what you're doing, it doesn't want, like you very much, it can take your money away. So it has something always holding over you. That's why any cryptocurrency is bad. So Juan had recommended, gold-backed, and if you want to buy something to, have in value, he said silver coin was good, or mining, silver mines or something, gold mines, things like that. But it's a great interview. It's definitely informative. Okay, she's talking about the tiers, so I'm going to skip that. And let's see. Restored Republic. Saturday, May 15th, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy telegram. Again, I can't confirm. I cannot confirm that it's actually her. It's just the information I read, because from my knowledge, they have not presented themselves, and it has not been an official announcement of anything. So it's hard to believe that. It may be her. I just don't know. But I just look at the information. Lynn Wood's 100% correct. Every day you see the New World Order devils tear down something that belongs to the people. What you don't see are the military raids in the underground tunnels where they are rescuing babies. And you don't see the dismantling the New World Order financial system. There are many missions running simultaneously to clean up this evil mess. There will be an event that will replace the New World Order financial system with an incorruptible one. Biden-Harris, their pretend administration, Supreme Court, and members of Congress will be removed for crimes. Watch. Trump or members of the military are not going to compromise ongoing operations to save this country. To satisfy your curiosity, we won't have to wait much longer. Just know that they are working on it, and we, the people, have got to be prepared. There will be more cyber attacks. Okay. She says that the game plan is reset, revaluation, realignment. UBI taxes are all being returned. People will be shocked. Cryptocurrency is dropping like a boulder. The event, 10 Days of Darkness. And she says World War III is coming and will be staged to trigger martial law. It's actually World War IV. If you listen to Juana 7, he said World War III, we won. It was with the Soviet Union. And it was a war by other means. An economic war, which actually is what brought them down. Okay, get ready. It's a military operation. Soon a state of emergency will be triggered worldwide along with 10 Days of Darkness. Have food, water, etc. All governments in the world were being removed by military. Everything connects. China Dam, Tiananmen Square, and Wuhan Big Pharma Labs leads into 34 satanic buildings getting hit. Rods of God. Cyber attacks and a fake nuclear scare event would publicly announce World War III again. Should be World War IV. Crash the stock market and shut down the internet. The cabal was expected to continue their cyber attacks for the next 2 months as the alliance continued to dismantle financial systems and bring in the global currency reset. The EBS would be triggered by cyber attacks, followed by the new quantum internet in Project Odin, flooding the airways with censor-free social media and documentaries on the history of the cabal. The world communication and financial systems would be switched dark to light, swift to the quantum financial system and gold-backed currencies, BTC to blockchain, regulated asset-backed metals, and fake mainstream media to the Starlink free communication system. Okay, let's see. And then Whiplash, here's talking about, I don't know what stellar XLM networks are, but so I'm not going to touch on that. And the reevaluation stuff, again, not going to touch on that. She says, Office of Donald J. Trump. Since many of the fake channels named Donald Trump and Melania Trump have been made, I officially declare that the only reliable and related channels are at Donald Trump Official and Melania_Trump_real. Code 19 Telegram. The scare event is all the nuclear reactors, which will be hacked by rogue states such as CCP, Iran, and Israel. The world internet will be shut down, including MSM, big tech, some power, etc. Then they will initiate the EBS. It's the perfect storm. So this particular post is about the event having to do with a cyber attack on nuclear reactors and scaring, I guess, everybody into thinking there's a nuclear meltdown. I'm not sure. That's one of the possibilities, I guess. And Ben Carson, Telegram, inspector says that Colonial Pipeline is 100% manufactured crisis. Yes, I think we've learned that by now. They're doing a lot of things to distract us, if you haven't noticed. So, let's see. Wuhan and parts of China got hit with huge tornadoes. From what I understand, there's a large storm heading their way. And IDF has given a green light to target all Hamas operatives at all levels anywhere in the world, both in Gaza and outside. So that means if they think that Hamas is, I don't know, sitting in Ukraine, they'll bomb Ukraine. If they think Hamas is, hiding out in Alaska, they'll hit Alaska. That doesn't sound good. All right, this is another story. Mushtaha Tower in Gaza gets roof knocked off now by an IDF drone. So they're going at it still. This is just some things from Whiplash 347. Planes and trains grounded, lights, power switched off. Changing over to Tesla-free energy. 34 satanic buildings and dams bombed. Bitcoin servers turned off. 99.5% of crypto gone. China coins. World War III scare event. Nuke sirens. Water event. Stock market crash. Global martial law. Castle Rock scenario. Quantum systems. Project Odin switched on. Nasara Jassar RV. Election flipping via FISA military courts and military tribunals, confessions, 10-day movies, 3 times 8-hour sessions, reveals and inauguration. So that's what Whiplash is saying is going to happen. I've read this already. So a lot of this is repetitive that I don't want to just keep repeating. In Hunt for Red October, there was a very tense standoff. Soviet Union and USA were on the brink of war. Think nuclear standoff. Define nuclear standoff. Iran is next. Will it bring China into it? China Tuesday, Chongqing Ford start. It is a Tuesday also today. It is the new moon that Mr. Poole shows too. This is code for 3 Gorges Dam plus 2 northern dams being taken down, plus Big Pharma Labs in Wuhan. So Mr. Poole's telegram is suggesting that on the new moon day, that's what's going to happen. So we'll see. That's supposed to be Tuesday. And there's a lot of flooding around the 3 Gorges Dam already. They say that collapse is imminent. And let's see if there's anything else here. Jassara equals 1,000 years of peace, no more wars. This is why the tunnels are being bombed to apart from rescuing children and killing chimeras. I hate to know what chimeras they have. Oh my goodness. That's a genetic, I think it's a crossbreed that they created in a lab between like an animal, like 2 animals that are different, or a human and an animal. All private intelligence companies being removed from existence, i.e. Mossad, CIA, Five Eyes. Only intelligence staying is military. MSM is your enemy. They lie about absolutely everything. Before they get taken down by libel laws and Project Odin, turning everyone against them, they are all controlled. Left, right, and in between by the Mossad CIA. It is like 8 arms of an octopus. They all go to the same head. And it's a byproduct of Operation Mockingbird, which is a byproduct of Operation Paperclip, which we know are the Nazi scientists coming over from Germany. They brought with them all of their, knowledge of propaganda and really applied it in Operation Mockingbird. There's some information here, just some historical stuff. In 1855, ISIS was formed by kings of Morocco and Libya, Hassan family, together with the royal British family. They signed in the Mohammedi law, which was to kill the bloodlines of Jesus Christ, Druze. 6 years later, they merged with Skull and Bones. Rothschilds, Schiffs, Rockefellers, Scherf, aka Bush, Kissinger's, etc. And then there's just some history here. 1871, 1870 to 1930, Big Pharma, which is Khazarian. 1871 is the Act of England. secret constitution placed by secret societies and Khazarians. 1912 is the Titanic Olympic sinking. And remember, Astor was on board. He was against the central bank or the Federal Reserve. 1913, Federal Reserve. 1917 to 23, Bolshevik Revolution. 45 to 59, Operation Paperclip Mockingbird. 48, Israel formed, Khazarian Bolshevik government. And then 49, Mossad equals CIA formed. Whistleblower General Flynn exposed the Gulen terrorist network. He discovered that the Obama administration was creating funding and arming of jihadists who later waved the flag of ISIS. These jihadist actions were taking place in Gaza. Obama, with the help of the CIA, NATO, and his jihadist cronies, were seeking to top Assad in Syria. These treasonous administrations created funding of ISIS. The U.S. jihadists morphed into the Arab Spring, destabilized the Middle East, and created the orchestrated migration crisis. Yes, it was orchestrated. It's part of the big New World Order plan. Hillary took part in the launching of the Arab Spring as Secretary of State under Obama. Flynn blew the whistle on the involvement in the Gulen terrorist network of the Obama administration and by default of H.W. Bush, G. Bush, Clinton, the State Department, FBI, CIA, and the dog. Now I'll circle back to Israel today. Do not be fooled. Those buildings fully collapsing in Gaza Strip, being hit from the one missile, are controlled demolitions. Deep state operators inside both Israel and Palestine camps have been infiltrated long ago by Mossad and CIA. Israeli handlers are, in fact, Mossad, UK, MI6, Rothschilds, and CIA. Dominion servers have a lot to hide. From human trafficking to Epstein creation to Vatican banks, the Mossad Khazarian mafia controlling Ukraine, connections from the snake pit of corruption by Israeli elites run deep into the United States, MSM, CIA control. Okay. Watch the sky. How do you take down the matrix? 34 buildings to be hit with rods of God. Project Odin. Taking down the Mossad satanic satellites that hold humanity hostage in the 3D matrix and activating the quantum internet free of corruption. And then watch the Three Gorges Dam break in China. It will be biblical. Pray for the people of Israel and for all people. That war going on over there is bad because both sides, innocent children and people are being caught in the middle. And it's a deep state distraction of some kind. And it's, you know, it's sad all around. The Great Awakening, the end of the reptilian bloodline, the death of the serpent, the end of the matrix, the return of Jesus from dark to light, and so it is. It isn't already obvious. Apollo Capital directly financed and laundered Jeffrey Epstein's activities with the crimes against humanity involving children. Timing's everything. Lawsuits are inextricably intertwined. Nothing can stop what is coming. Military has it all. Soros has his hands in the Arizona audit now. Well, he funded the sheriff there, $2 million bucks, and he also funded the Secretary of State's campaign. I mean, he's all about these color revolutions and doing these kinds of things, getting certain people elected for the cabal. He's a puppet of the cabal, and he does this. He did that in that Russian country. Can't think of the name of it anymore. But anyway, tried to do that there. Had to try to have like a revolution there by, you know, sending in like Antifa and these kinds of groups to cause strife and divide the people. 2,000 doctors and lawyers file a lawsuit against the CDC and the WHO and Davis Group for fraud. With 10,000 medical experts led by Dr. Rainer Fulmick, has initiated legal proceedings against the CDC, WHO, and the Davis Group for crimes against humanity, 𝐒𝐀𝐬𝐝 and his team present the incorrect PCR test and the order for doctors to describe any comorbidity death as a COVID death as fraud. The PCR test was never designed to detect pathogens, and it's 100% inaccurate. This invalidates over 90% of the alleged COVID cases, infections detected by the use of this incorrect test. I think the whole thing with the COVID-19, the vaccines, I think it's starting to just fall apart. Apparently, Fauci's under, he could be under indictment, and the people underneath him are singing, giving it up, giving all the information up. And it's just not going to be long before the whole thing just implodes on itself. And, just hope that people stop getting that vaccine and wake up and start reading, more critical thinking needed. Okay, I'm still looking. There's stuff here about non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this stuff's about. And I'm sure if this is something we need to know, we'll know after the QFS system is in place. I would wait for the military to give you instructions on things like this, because you don't know. Wealth management and so forth. I think that's it. Okay, so that's it for today. And, some of the major things, they're suing the WHO and CDC and these globalist groups for crimes against humanity. And we've got the Arizona audit continuing tomorrow, but it's pretty obvious. And the military already had everything anyway. That's one thing they just haven't told people because they want people to see how bad it was, how bad the cheating was. It was really off the charts. And how the Dominion voting system, and that will make people think that if they use Dominion voting systems in their counties, countries, or whatever, that they should do an audit, because that system is made to cheat. It's created so that you can cheat. And we are to look for events such as the Three Gorges Dam, like cyber attacks on nuclear facilities, things like that. Because after those things begin to happen, that's when we're going to get the EVS. And we could be pretty close. It feels like we're close. But yeah, we can't count on days. We kind of have to look at events. So lots of stuff going on, and it seems to be picking up in pace. And everything's going to be good, though. Everything's going to work out fine, even though it's going to scare people, whatever this event is. And the undoing of our government is going to scare people, too, especially people who are not awake. They're going to freak out. So, but, they're not paying attention. That's the problem. And but according to Juan 07, everything's good. We're all going to come out fine. And then he, in the video that I just posted, it's such a good interview. He talks about the whole process with Nasara and Jasara. Individually, each person probably will, it's almost like you have to go through and determine what, how much you're owed and how much is legitimately loans and so forth, stuff like that. And so it's a case-by-case basis, but it'll, they'll be able to do it. They'll just it'll take some time. Okay, and that's it for now. Just keep your eyes on the Three Gorges Dam and some of the other dams and reactors, cyber attacks, and so forth. And if anything else comes up, I will let you know. Okay, I'm over here at Telegram, and I have a few posts that I wanted to share with you. China conducts Taiwan invasion military drills amid rise in tensions. So they're still pushing to invade Taiwan. China's released videos showing military drills that appeared to simulate a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. Well, sounds like that's what they're going to do. U.S. intervenes to break deadlock in the GERD talks, avert military escalation. Washington called on Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia to resume stalled talks on the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam urgently, pledging to provide political and technical support to facilitate a successful outcome. U.S. Special Envoy for the Horn. So, yeah, that's one of the dams that is, I guess it's in deadlock because it's shared by multiple nations and there's all that strife going on. War. Emergency alerts for terror attacks, floods, and other disasters to be sent directly to your phone. The aptly named Emergency Alerts Warning Service will be introduced via a trial this summer before a national rollout. That's just an interesting tidbit. So that storm was supposed to be heading to Iran is now heading to China. Due May 18th, I saw. Wow, China Tuesday. Joe visiting Ford was our heads up. Keep your eyes on the tracking. And this says in India, Cyclone 𝐒𝐀𝐍 tracking news live updates. Mumbai braces for the 𝐒𝐀𝐍 cyclone. Shifts 580 COVID patients from field hospitals. I wonder if that's the same cyclone that's going into China. Here's another picture. Waters heading inland after Cyclone 𝐒𝐀𝐍 crosses 𝐔𝐩𝐝. Look at that. Wow. And here's another satellite image of the cyclonic storm, 𝐒𝐀𝐍. It says, according to NME, he said, when there's blood in the sky, red and blue equals purple. Purple rain pertains to the end of the world and being with one you love and letting your faith in God guide you through the purple rain. Prince would say the apocalyptic connotations of the color purple made it his favorite color. Just, I guess, a little interesting bit of information. Written in 1982 during the height of the Cold War, the Party Jam has a much deeper meaning as Prince addresses fears of a nuclear Armageddon. Prince gave a rare interview in 1999 when he spoke with Larry King on CNN. And here's a little clip from the song. I won't play the whole thing, but you can kind of hear about the meaning behind Purple Rain.
I was dreaming when I wrote that. Forgive me if it goes astray. When I woke up this morning, thought this morning was Judgment Day. Sky was all purple, there was people running everywhere. Try to run from my destruction, you know I didn't even care. Say 2000 party, all the roofs out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Okay, so you get the idea. This was put on a couple of different Telegram sites. It says that it's a massive dump of Pizzagate, Petagate videos. I guess these are just all different kinds of videos about the subject. Some of it is viewer discretion advised. And Nate Barana says it's almost time for you know what. This says COVID sterilizes women. And United Nations World Health Organization developed vaccines that would secretly sterilize women. Not surprised. The proteins involved with the COVID vaccines mimic proteins that embed in the placenta to womb lining and would thus cause women's immune systems to attack their own placentas, killing their own babies. Golly. Gaza was burning tonight after the barrage on Tel Aviv. And you can see all that. And this is more images from Colombia.
No es un simulacro, es el humo acá en la defensa civil que ataca a los bomberos, a la Cruz Roja y que lógicamente a la defensa.
El 13 de mayo de 2021,
Okay, there's a lot of craziness going on there. Wuhan lab deleted Fauci's NIH and gain-of-function mentions from old web pages in early 2021. They're trying to scrub his connections to it. But he's connected. IDF says it struck the home of the Hamas Jabalia battalion commander. Yikes. And then Israel has once again begun wide-scale airstrikes throughout Gaza. High-rise building knocked off. This was an interesting post. All of these rock formations look like giants. I've heard some people say they think this is a petrified giant. I mean, I don't know about that. I have no clue, but it's interesting. It's interesting that they actually do look like faces. This is Mike Pompeo on the origins of the China virus.
Who helped broker the deals between Israel and 4 Arab countries under the Trump administration, known as the Abraham Accords. Secretary, thanks very much for all of your work. Good morning to you. It is good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Maria. It's great to be with you this morning.
So before we dive into the crisis in the Middle East, you heard John Ratcliffe predicting what's happening. I want to get your thoughts on what you just heard from Devin Nunes about the origins of COVID-19. When you were at the State Department, what did you know about the origins of the coronavirus, sir?
Maria, we worked to get every bit of evidence that we could. We tried to deliver this. The CDC tried to work with the Chinese. They covered it up terribly. But every piece of evidence that we saw throughout the entire time I was there suggested that this originated in that laboratory at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. I haven't seen a shred of evidence that suggests anything to the contrary. That evidence continues to accumulate in spite of the fact that the Chinese Communist Party will not permit anyone to get any access to the laboratory, to the original materials, to the doctors that were working there. The list of the cover-up efforts is staggering. And the combination of the circumstantial evidence that we have combined with the intense effort to deny us information about that lab suggests to me strongly that this was where it originated. And Maria, as I think Devin said, the risk that something like this happens again from that laboratory or another Chinese laboratory is very real. They are operating and conducting activities that are inconsistent with their capacity to secure those facilities. And the risk of bioweapons and bioterror emanating from this region is very real.
Unbelievable. And I know that you worked with Devin Nunes all the way when you were a congressman from Kansas, before you were the CIA director, before you were the Secretary of State. All right, real quick, one other question on this, then I want to move on. We've got a lot to talk to you about. We discussed a story on this program last weekend about a story broken by an Australian journalist, 𝐒𝐀𝐍 Marxian. She said that the U.S. State Department obtained documents in May of 2020 revealing that Chinese military scientists discussed the weaponization of SARS coronavirus 5 years before the pandemic showed up. What can you tell us?
Well, I can't say much about those particular documents, but you'll recall back in January of 2021, we released a set of now declassified information pieces that talked about the fact that we believe there were doctors that came down with the symptoms from the virus back in 2019, deep knowledge that the Chinese Communist Party had about human-human transition long before they admitted it to the WHO or to the world. There is increasing evidence that the Chinese Communist Party acted at least with reckless negligence and perhaps even worse.
I mean, should President Trump and the State Department been notified if they were lifting the pause on this gain of research funding in December of 17?
Absolutely. I don't know when that happened. I don't know whose decision it was. I hope Congressman Nunes and the members of Congress who are working on this diligently to protect and secure Americans from this kind of virus happening again, I hope we can get to the bottom of it. I'm confident that when we learn what happened here, we will find that there were mistakes on our side as well. I regret that.
Okay, so if the original virus was created in the Wuhan lab with gain-of-function technology and funded by Dr. Fauci, then, I mean, basic logic would make a human being question the vaccine, which is connected to Fauci as well. And as all of these side effects and deaths associated with it and possible cover-ups. So in my opinion, I don't understand why that thing is still out on the market and why they're forcing kids to take it. That's the big question. Okay, so that's it for now. And if anything else important comes up, I will let you know. And thank you for listening, and thank you so much for supporting my channel. Hi, Patriots. I just wanted to say thank you to all of those who have supported this channel. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and if you would like to make a donation to support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description below. And thank you again, and I'll see you on the next video.